Odin and Seth. Both animal lovers, most definitely. Animal lovers on both sides, and Marsh, that's a very nice map for both of them. Of course, High Hunt going to be making for nice amount of animals for the set, and of course at the same time for Odin for Great Hunt, which is already coming in. Apparently it's going to be cast in here, which, yeah, no, I don't like this. I don't really like this at all. Because first, you can get a bit more piggies later. And second, why would you want to actually enlarge the starting hand that you are using? Because it will mean that you are going to be stuck with it for basically until you advance. And once you advance, you're going to be a bit outside of, you're going to be forced to go outside of your base. And of course, it's not going to be safe hunt anymore. So you should be really either using it on a back hunt, which is definitely preferable or whatnot. But yeah, right now, asking for fixing of the leg. Yeah, we don't see anything. At least I don't see anything. Maybe they are seeing something, not sure. Apparently, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a attempt to fix it. And in the meantime, already a bit of scouting of piggies at the back. And there's, of course, very nice gold right next to the town center in there. So definitely very nice spawn for the number player who is going to be playing the Odin. You know, the gold on the right, also fairly close to the town center. It's nice. Nietzsche in the ad. Town center on the right side for Project Z, also very good, especially with the animals right next to it. And the gold, yeah, well, not ideal. See it again behind the tree line, which is something that you usually don't want to see. Because it means that if you are wanting to escape with the villages from there, it's going to be not really that easy. And there are options for your opponent to actually cut off the path and punish you. Gold mine also pretty terrible. And actually pretty terrible gold mine for him, because it's also behind the reach of the tower and at the same time quite far away. So it potentially could be abusable by really quite a lot of raiding opportunities are going to be had across this map for 76487. In the meantime, front TCs are basically in the same position for both. Not any kind of advantage or disadvantage, which could be really making for some ideas of both players. That if they want to go for front TC, they might just as well go for the opposing one. It's really not that far away. And it's really going to be the same amount of risk, pretty much. It's not really a kind of difference. And right now they're like in the middle, and we are looking at a bit of a pause, probably thinking if we can veto. Wouldn't be surprised. Because of the gold position and such. Thank you very much. Sorry. Right now switched. Yeah, there was a bit of a hurry in there. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. But luckily we are in just 2 minutes. Yep, I already did it and fixed it. Hopefully it's going to be just this once, and I'm not going to be forgotten anymore. But yeah, sometimes it happens, unfortunately. Especially when there's a bit of a hurry to get into game, which was exactly the case in this one. Anyway, just 2 minutes gone, so nothing really all that major. I'm just going to be yet again showing you what I was talking about. So this is going to be, of course, back hand, back TC, and back gold. Very nice positioning for 76487 as the Odin. And on the gold mine at the bottom with hand right next to it as well. So this is quite close by to the town center. Back gold, nice spawn for him overall. And he has used the great hunt on this hunt in his home base. And he's already finishing with it, or rather, basically like halfway in there. And that basically means that he's going to be advancing into the next age still on this first hunt. And he's going to be hoping that the hunt at the back is going to be, or rather, lasted him for a lot longer if his opponent is going to be a bit more aggressive than him. In the meantime, back TC for Project Z, the gold mine in there. Not really that ideal at all, because of course there's the tree line, and yep, this is the opportunity to basically catch, or rather cut off, the villages. As in the meantime, Project Z is trying to convert at least a few animals in there, and there's going to be a relic for Battle Village of Wood and Gold Cat raids, a very nice one. And in the middle, better house and manor hit points, also not bad for any kind of defensive purposes. So Human Soldier Pierce Armor, very nice relic in the middle, and the TCs, this is exactly what I was talking about, the same position for both. So if you want to go for a town center like this, you might just as well go for the opposing one, because the risk is going to be absolutely the same. And If you are successful, you're going to be receiving quite a significant bonus. In the meantime, the gold mine for the Egyptian player, this is exactly what I was talking about, not really great at all. The tower is behind it, which opens it to any kind of abuse that could be possible. And of course, right now 764 is going to be exactly seeing that and hoping that he can capitalize on something like this. Well then, classical ages are not through. Just now, right now, for Freya, for 764 for the Odin. For 17, that's actually pretty decent, making me think that he is a Norse main. He really could be a Norse main in here. He definitely did struggle with the Hades in the first game that we have streamed of him. And already killing the hyena, so that there's not going to be any kind of scouting for him at all. And trying to kill at least the hippo, so that he isn't all that annoying. And basically racking up some army for some potential abuse. Okay, so Ptach, so that's going to be shifting, these are going to be shifting sands on some economy. But he doesn't have all that much of a scouting in here, Project Z. He'll have to go for the rhino, or rather for the hippo, but hippo is pretty slow. And he's right now converting as many animals as he can right now to help him with the defense, but that's not really going to be that strong. He right now needs to somehow find a way to potentially steal the villages, but it's almost looking like that actually he's not going to be coming for that. He's going fairly defensively all around the map. The Hunt, of course, is not really that defensive, but it's not like he has all that many choices. Right now I'm going to be using the vision to steal the villages. And is it going to be cast in here? It could be. Because it could be stealing both the villages and the piggies. Maybe even the Ulfsark. Huh. He didn't use it, he didn't. So he probably didn't see anything that would be all that worthwhile for him. Interesting. Interesting indeed, but he probably thought that he doesn't want to transport even more units of his opponent and whatnot inside his base, because already there is raiding going on. And the town center, yeah, it's probably going to be used for defensive purposes. He's right now going to be sending away the army through the shifting sands, but he definitely needs to be careful because he doesn't want to send also his own villages. That would be kind of disastrous. Well, this is close. Come on, you need to be fighting against the town center already. Yeah, that didn't really work out right now for Blue at all. Even though he's going to be killing a few animals in here, it definitely wasn't worth it. Should have been doing something else. Not exactly sure what, but yeah, this tree line is also not really that great, because even though he might be thinking it could have helped him in the fight in there against the animals and whatnot, it actually opened the way for the gold between the gold mine and the town center, and that's actually a pretty big service. It's actually a pretty big service to the red player, and he's going to be quite happy about this. He's really going to be fairly happy about what just happened in there. Well, that backfired for Blue. Maybe he doesn't realize it yet, but he definitely did. And he's going to be attempting at least now coming for the TC. Why not this one? Why not? There's absolutely no tactical reason why you should be coming for this TC if you know that your opponent's front is this close. And the risk is absolutely the same. It's the same risk level. Yeah, well, not sure. Not sure what's the thought process behind that, but he has to have some kind of plan, because really, at least to me, it doesn't make much sense. But in the long run, it might not be that punishing to him, because of course, whoever controls at least one of those TCs more or less controls the other as well, more or less. So it's not that huge of a mistake, but it's just something that's kind of suboptimal. But yeah, with the medium of Sarks already in, you are probably going to be seeing a fair amount of Radiant, as he's already coming for the gold. And yep, we're going to be seeing the mistake of this forest fire fairly soon. Yeah, he's going to be arriving on the gold mine, and there's not going to be not any kind of wood line to prevent that escape into safety. As barracks are coming up exactly in here because they need to, because of the gold mine. Yeah, a bit more efficiency for him. Need more efficiency for him. Finishing with the hunt, but there is still a decent amount of hunt at the top, but it seems like that he's not going to be continuing with that anymore. Already going to be switching into farms, as piggies are going to be running out, because he doesn't want to be surprised out there anymore. And he's going to be quite content sticking with what he has, but he needs to be somehow thinking about securing this part of the map altogether. This is actually very nice wood. He's going all the way through wall, making for protected gold, and if he is going to be able to secure this gold mine, pretty much secure this one as well. Alright, so this is definitely something that he should be aiming for and will be aiming for, because he doesn't have all that many other choices. Oh, wow. That's gonna hurt. Well, luckily for him, not much. There is still enough time for him to retreat. But the hunt is not going to be continuing for him. And is he actually continuing with hunt because he is having problems with echo? Well, not having that much gold, that's true. So yeah, potentially he just wants to be continuing with the hunt as long as possible. It's a bit of a shame that he actually did lose some gold on the villages. Because he didn't really deposit them correctly. He could have definitely used that kind of resources. And in the meantime, of course, he's going to be continuing with the hunt, the blue player, as long as possible, because he does have the map control. And he doesn't need to worry about what his opponent is gonna do. Like, I'm moving for the gold at the bottom. He probably wants to keep the gold at the top for a bit later time. And this gold mine is actually kind of funny. I'm not sure if this is possible, probably not. Looking at the map, it shouldn't be. And he should be fairly safe in there. Ascar is just now coming in at 10 minutes. That's a pretty nice advanced time. He can basically just close himself off at this position. And yep, there's not going to be any kind of raiding from Project Z that could be coming his way. It's now finishing with the boar. Closing on the TC. But Hillfort coming up to make sure that the town center is not going to be coming into Red's power at all. And well, there's not enough army to stop this, but quite luckily indeed, the red player is going... Oh, wow, is he actually gonna give it up? Yeah, well, he did. He just did. He actually got lucky, because blue hasn't noticed through the lower line of sight for the raiding cavalry and whatnot. And, oh man, he actually lured all the army into the villages and forced them to actually retreat a whole lot sooner than he was hoping for. Oh well. Yeah, well, that's happened. That just happened. Of course, medium raiders are right now already being researched, and town center is going to be coming for him as well, as he doesn't want any kind of surprises coming anymore. And he does have the economy, he does have the support with the hill fort, and he does have the army as well. Yeah, this poor guy is probably gonna die fairly soon. But not soon enough, as those guys are just going into the back of the enemy army. Village is right now going to be pretty much safe in the middle, and a lot of axemen, and they definitely should be complemented also by spearmen, because looking at this hill fort, I'll be expecting Jarls. Yep, Jarls are going to be unit of choice. 476487, and this DC really doesn't seem all that bad, especially since this opponent is not in the heroic age. Is he actually coming through? Yes, he is. Ooh, this might be getting tricky. How fast is he actually going to be advancing? In 10 seconds. A bit of raiding, but still enough army in there. And the town center is going to be cast Ancestors on as fast as possible. Of course, he does have at least one Herseer, and he definitely right now has to fully defend, but he probably won't be able to be that effective. And he doesn't have reinforcements. He might actually at this stage might be wanting to switch at least half of those into infantry, into Ulfsarks. Oh well, this is gonna get pretty sucky for the blue player. Pretty sucky indeed. An army is coming up. Yep, no town center for you. No town center for you at all. So this was unexpected for him. It was a whole lot of risk to actually cast the frost right there, without his opponent casting Ancestors yet, because Ancestors are such a good power that can actually make up for most of the army in an engagement, and that's exactly what happened in here, which leads to town center not being secure, and maybe even a bit of an attempt by Project Z to come for it. Right now he is attempting a Migdol to protect his gold mines, ×2, so that's going to be a ton of gold for him. 9,000 gold. He can basically just last with it for a lot of time, for a long time. Especially since he's right now coming to the top as well, because he kinda needs to. He needs to secure the top side for trade. And he already should be walling up. He should be already coming for that. He is quite nicely set up at this point, which is something that you wouldn't probably expect a bit earlier, because it really looked like that the Odin was a whole lot better off. And quite frankly, it has to be said, if he captured this front TC, as we said, there is very limited ways that Project Z would be actually attempting to stop this TC that would be a bit safer. I don't expect that there will be all that much of a mind in Project Z to actually do that. So yeah, he's right now paying for his decision. And so far it seems like that it's not really working in his way, because of course right now there's going to be a huge attempt by Project Z to somehow secure the town center for himself. In the meantime though, we mustn't forget that still Odin is playing quite well, and he does have more opportunities than his opponent still. He is the one basically controlling the map overall. Already having heavy raiders with witch Jarls, great Jarls already. And copper mail, okay. That's what he needs. Medium infantry for the Egyptian and no extra upgrades, so that's kind of standard. And yeah, right now it's kind of hard, of course, for projects that do anything with the unupgraded units and such. So he definitely has to hope that the units from the Migdol are going to be enough, but right now he is housed. And is he housed altogether? Yeah, he is. Oh man, that's bad. But he's at least going to be advancing into Mythical Age. If he remembers to build a market... Ah, yeah, he has. Yes, so it's going to be coming into Mythical Age, as there's a big battle in the middle, which is right now going to be won by the Odin, because of the sheer strength of his units, of the upgrades that his opponent doesn't have. And that should right now allow him to get the TC. At long last, even though the camels are of course going to be a bit stronger unit to deal with the Jarls and with the cavalry overall, but probably not in enough numbers, because he's having just one Migdol, and that's... nah. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough at all. Especially with the TC being captured already by 764 inside his base. So he is already at 3. Even without the one that he's right now capturing. And that's 45 town center for him. And Longhouse is basically just to make sure that he's not going to be surprised by anything at all. By like attempts by his opponent to raid there with... I don't know what. Probably chariot archers. Maybe even camels. But yeah, he just wants to be safe and secure. We should be expecting the Mythical Age from the set. Weirdly though, we aren't, and that's a bit of a shame, because of course he does have 2000 gold. He can just buy it, and he should. Quite frankly, he should. He needs Son of Osiris, and he just needs to be having a bit more upgrades. And it seems like this economy is going fairly okay. So if he can somehow survive long enough, he should be able to do so because of the gold mines that he's having. Yeah, well, he could be still having pretty good chances, but right now with the 4 TCs against 2, it's going to be, of course, skewed into 764's advantage. Medium of Sarks, also the whole baseline, whereas his opponent is having medium spearman and the whole baseline as well. So finally at least something, that's where actually all the resources went, not only the units, but also the military upgrades. But yeah, the strong horses, and on top of that, the frost giants, this is working quite nicely for 764. Needs to get rid of the priest and the pharaoh. Shebitku the second, and well, the extra fire from the Migdol is definitely known, but it's costing a lot of resources to mainly Project Z, because right now 764 he's basically having full map control, and if he can continue this way, he might be not only minding what's happening in here, but he's of course losing in the long run, which is fairly unfortunate. But he's basically fighting against a bit more optimal units, like the Axemen and the Spearmen, against his Wolf Sarks and the horses. And even though we have seen an elephant, because there's another Migdol to protect and quite nicely the gold mine, and of course markets coming up for setting up the trade into the bottom TC. 45 TC has already been researched as well. This is going to be an interesting switch, and the elephants might be exactly the tanks that are needed. They definitely could be. In the meantime, Horus is the choice, got power choice, and it's going to be used, of course, on the town center in there. So yeah, that's that. It's going to be getting rid, of course, of the Migdol also, potentially even of the Longhouse. Not of the second TC that should be coming down. Oh, trying to repair, trying to repair. It's actually gonna get lucky. No, he's not. No, he's not. We're really enough targets to actually deal the damage to. So yep, that's going to be... Oh, well, yeah. He's thinking that he can actually capture the gold, or rather capture the town center. Not really. Not really, unless he has some kind of army waiting somewhere, which he doesn't. So let's go back to the main engagement, where, of course, a whole lot of rhinos are coming up, which are a unit that we have seen, for example, by Temista in his gameplay on Oasis, if you remember, on my channel. It was kind of funny game in there. Yeah, they seem to be doing quite well, but the Frost Giants, they are just too annoying. Just too annoying, even with the mercenaries coming into the game. Just basically half the time, half the army is like frozen by the giants, and they can just deal with the rest in the meantime. But yep, the army is just now gone, and the Frost Giants are going to be as well, because just the spamming ability is a whole lot better for the Egyptian, and it's just now known quite well. So shifted hands, and town center is going to be his. So are we actually going to be seeing a full-on comeback? At this stage it looks like that. It looks like that because Project Z is playing very well this middle stage of the game. And that engagement by 764 next to the Migdol and whatnot, even though he has succeeded in taking it down, it actually cost him his whole army, and might not have been what needed to be done. He probably needed to be a bit more controlling of the gold of his opponent. Right now, try to at least slow this down. It seems to be working just so. He probably needed to control a bit more the gold and the trade route, because this is right now gonna get a bit problematic. The gold mines are just now out, more or less, and he's going to be coming for... Is he really going to be coming for this one? No, he's not. He's coming for the one at the top. But yeah, going back to the town center, which is still not being finished. This is really going to be a pretty desperate fight right now for 764, but... Oh, I was just gonna say with the Ragnarok, things are changing a bit. Things are changing a bit. This is because this is not something that actually Project Z in this stage, at this stage, can deal with. Project Z right now saying that he doesn't play even this god. Yeah, well, he did play quite well enough though, has to be said. But the Odin played just a bit better. And if I had to bet, 764 actually is a Norse player. He was really playing very well. A bit too well for somebody who wouldn't be actually used to his gameplay strategy and whatnot. All the wars on 27 villages on this one gold. Even more than that, I cannot even select all of them. So that's like 40 maybe, 35, 40 villages in there. Yeah, desperate fight for the town center, succeeded by 764, and he waited for exactly what he needed, and that was the Ragnarok, which should have been basically full pop, and he was probably having enough upgrades, I'll be thinking already. Yeah, bronze and baseline, not really that great, but of course his opponent is not really a whole lot better, just baseline. And he just absolutely exerted all his effort into getting the town center, and it didn't work out, so you can kind of guess what would have happened with the Ragnarok on top of that. So, almost a comeback, but not full. Not in full, as 764 was able to get the Ragnarok in time. Good economy overall by 764. Not even on the gold was he that far behind an Egyptian. It usually speaks to quite good efforts by the player. Okay, GG.